Good afternoon, thank you for coming. My name is Chris, KPO Specialist and host of this report out. This is RPIW 2's 30-day report out where we looked at inventory. So I'm going to hand straight over to the team to tell you what they've been doing and then we'll take questions afterwards.
Hello, my name is Karen. I am the co-process owner for RPIW 2. Our target for the RPIW was inventory. We identified 54 areas we could focus on during the RPIW week. We came up with ideas to reduce trays, making size and site-specific trays, and looking at the storeroom and the corridor. We produced a newspaper highlighting some of the areas we worked on. The newspaper lists all the tasks we were targeted to complete in 30 days. As you can see, we completed some of them, but not all of them.
Okay, so this is, my name's Rob Guest, I'm a business manager for orthopaedics and a team member of the RPIW. This is our target progress report, which shows the challenges that our sponsor team set at the start of the RPIW week. One of those was staff walking distance. So before the RPIW, staff took 757 steps to set up whilst in the operating theatre. During the RPIW, we managed to reduce that to 127, and since then in a real-life simulation, that's reduced further to 82 steps. The setup reduction time, which is the opening packs and counting of the instruments, pre-RPIW that was 30 minutes. During the RPIW week we reduced that to 9 minutes 45, and in the simulation that took place earlier this week it was 8 minutes 31, so a further reduction. A couple of the other metrics that we haven't been able to measure yet because the trays, the new structure arm trays aren't in circulation, is the quality defects and the setup of the trolleys pre-theatre, but we intend to do that as soon as we get the trays in circulation. The 5S of the corridor has been a challenge, as we highlighted during the RPIW week, and we'll talk more about that later on, and the work we intend to do before the 60-day report out to improve that from a level 1 as it is still currently. Over to you.
So these are the trays that we had for a knee replacement prior to the change that we looked at. As you can see, we have 7 trays on that trolley and extra sterile packaged instruments as well. And we've managed to reduce that down to the 3 trays, and we put that in practice earlier this week. And as Rob's just said, that's resulted in much less walking space for the scrub team and less setup time, which is great. What we want to try and do next is use the same approach to our hips and do the same with the hip trays. And I think we'll be able to make very similar differences there as well. So I think it's looking good.
We did live trial, like they said. We improved quite a lot. We improved steps, and it's much less count in the tray of instruments. In terms of collecting stuff, we create knee in the storeroom. We put together all types of knee and all necessary bits, so they on one aisle. We make as well better labeling, so staff have no problem now to find equipment, and to in future we do the same with other aisles and knee, and yeah, that's our improvement.
My name is Martin, I'm part of the inventory team and supplies department. As part of the RPIW, we did notice that there was areas that needed improving within the storage, the inventory holding within chalk. So clearing the storeroom and things like that, we've identified if we reduce stock holding, we'll make gains in storage area, and then also making it easier and more accessible for the staff to use. We've cleared window ledges of stuff that's usually sat on there, and put fan homes from and labelled up places so people can find it. Create the working process for clearing the corridor. It's still deemed as a dumping ground and still being used as a dumping ground, and we're trying to daily challenge, and we're trying to manage that on a day-by-day basis. As part of my remit in this last 30 days, I sent out reports and requests from all our suppliers on analysing our last usage for the year, and previous to that I've had response from about 75% of them, and looking at the responses coming out, we're probably looking at reducing consignment holding by about 30% if approved by clinical staff and directors.
Okay, so it hasn't all been plain sailing. We have faced a number of challenges over the past few weeks since the RPIW. The availability of staff getting together as a group has been a challenge, I think, with the time of year and annual leave and such like, as well as operational issues that have meant particularly the theatre staff that have been part of the RPIW team have been required to be in and around the theatre environment and in the operating room. Martin?
Yeah, we've also had issues regarding the pre-pack stuff. It turns out that during the process when we scoped out the work and the business case towards it, our main supplier don't actually have contract with some of the supplier items that we use. So there is meetings going off in future just to ensure that we've got a supply route into them so that we're able to make the packs as required.
So the key learnings that we have identified from this RPIW is that we need to keep momentum, we need to try to free up staff so that we can implement our ideas and we can continue with the methods that we have learned.
Thank you very much. So unfortunately none of the sponsors can be here today, but I do know they're very proud of you and they're very keen to pass on their gratitude and thanks and keep up the hard work. Got any questions from the audience?
Not so much a question, but those trays that you've scaled down from 7 to, it looked a lot tidier the after.
Yeah.
It looks a lot tidier and easier to work with. I know, you know, there's certain things you need, but that looks a lot more slick, more.
Yeah, and even more so when it's all put out in the theatre suite.
Yeah.
The whole theatre room's less congested. What is there and is what we use, and that's what we should be doing.
Yeah.
So it's good. I think we all found that really rewarding, and it was nice to know that the metrics matched. So we need to work with that. And
So
keep
they're
it going,
new,
really.
is that new trays?
Yeah, that's
They're
for the
new
knee trays. So they're now site specific to right or left, not just a generic set.
So next week is the regional anaesthetic course, and there is mostly knees that have been listed. There's quite a lot of knees being listed.
Right. So we have 2 kits that have been prepared for this trial run, one of which has been used and there's another one to be used, which will be on my list. I'll then put that to the consultant body, and I think then at that point we can start scaling this up really. Yeah.
And how have you found your colleagues, the home team? Have they been receptive of the changes? Have they sort of welcomed it? Are they impressed with?
They are impressed with certainly the setup and the trays, and I think once we're able to do it with the hip trays as well and roll it out, I think a big improvement.
And if we save from 19 minutes down to 8 minutes for setup time for every joint replacement, that's a huge amount of time over the year, which is great. Yeah.
Can I just ask, sorry, will there be, from your key learnings, will there be dates set in diaries as of sort of leaving the room today? Will you be able to get together on a weekly basis?
Yeah, before we leave today, we'll arrange our next meet-up and continue to do that
That's
on a
something we
weekly
need to do.
basis.
And to establish the date for the next presentation as well.
Yeah. Because one thing I've found is that being ill-prepared for this report out, whether it's 30 or 60 or 90 days, it's not a pleasant situation to find yourselves in. And I think those regular meetings are essential, really. Not just for you, for us as well. For us, we think
It's difficult, like you say, getting everybody together.
Mm.
And your day job takes on, doesn't it? And
It
sort of
does.
takes the back burner.
Yeah, and I think as a KPO team we reflect on that as well. It's something that we need to build into the schedule. So we're quite well prepared up to the RPIW and the RPIW week, but then we sort of leave it to yourselves to build those pre-post meetings in. But I think we should just schedule them from the beginning and then put it in with the diaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's about all getting all our job plans together, and that's the great thing about that week out, that you actually have time. And that's where all the power, that's a lot of the power of this ability to change things, is just having time to do it.
But so it's about combining our leverage. But, you know, at the end of the day, I may request something from the supplier, I might not get it straight away. Mr. Campbell request something from the supplier for a rep, we pretty much get it straight away. So it's about using our tools at our disposal to help the team as a whole, I think.
Excellent, well done.
Okay, thank you very much for coming, everybody.
Thank